What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. So as you can see on my iPad, we are going to go over the 8-2 Sleeper Berth Split. Now there is still a lot of confusion out in the trucking world about how to use the 8-2 split, so I am going to make a video explaining it to you in a very simple fashion. So let's jump right into it. So let's talk about the 8 and the 2 hour portion of your break. So the 2 hour portion of your break will not stop your 14-hour clock. Just so you guys know. So if you're driving, you take your 2 hour break and then you go to on duty and then you go back to driving. This 2 hour, it does not stop your clock keeps running. You guys should know that already. But one thing you might not know is this 2 hour portion of your break, you can use a combination of different ways to use this break. I don't know if that made sense, but so what I'm saying is your 2 hour portion, you can be on personal conveyance, you can be on sleeper berth, or off duty. So say you were in your sleeper berth for the first hour because you wanted a nap, and then after an hour you decided, hey, I'm gonna go get some food, so you went into personal conveyance for 15 minutes or whatever to drive to Burger King to grab yourself a hamburger. Once you got to Burger King, you switched from personal conveyance to off duty to sit down for 45 minutes to eat your lunch. Well, all three of those things added up equaled your 2 hours. You now have your 2 hour break and you are good to go. So hopefully you guys understand that part. Alright, moving on to the 8 hour portion of your break. The 8 hour can only be spent in the sleeper berth, and the 8 hour portion of your break does stop your 14-hour clock, but you can't do any of it on personal conveyance, you can't do any of it on off duty, or it won't start counting towards your 8-2 split until you go into sleeper berth. So the full 8 hours has to be in sleeper berth. Just remember that. Now, as I already touched on, your 2 hour break does not stop your 14-hour clock. Your 8 hour break does stop your 14-hour clock, but neither of these reset your 14-hour clock. So, yes, you heard me right. Neither of these breaks reset your 14-hour clock. It's not like a 10-hour break, how after 10 hours you get a fresh 14-hour clock. These don't do that. So make sure that you have that in your head, because you're not going to get a fresh 14-hour clock off these. So your clock kind of just starts rolling, which we will explain that more here in a second. Alright guys, so let's jump into it and let's do the easiest, simplest way to show you guys first a diagram of how to utilize the 8-2 split. So you're coming off of your 34-hour reset, you jump down, you go straight to drive time. straight to 5 hours of drive time right there. Boom, done. Then we're going to jump up. We're going to take that 2-hour break. Then we're going to jump down, and we're going to go to 6 hours of drive time. Okay, so hopefully you guys are following me that far. So that's your first break for your 8-2 Sleeper Berth Split. Now if you notice, you're out of drive time right here. So what do you do there? Well, we're going to have to take that 8 hours, right? Yep, so we're going to come up. We're going to take that 8 hours. And then after the 8 hours, can anybody tell me how many hours of drive time do you have after that 8 hours of break? This is where it gets tricky, because like I said, neither of these reset your 14-hour clock. This one stops your clock. This one doesn't stop your clock. So you got 5, 11, 13 hours here. And then you took your 8-hour break. And so you're all legal. But can you tell me how many hours of drive time you have after that 8-hour break? Because you don't have a fresh 14-hour clock because you only took 8 hours. You didn't take 10. So this is where you really have to pay attention. So now that you have officially took 10 hours in your sleeper berth, or 10 hours off duty, you have to take these 8 hours in your sleeper berth, and these 2 hours can be a combination, remember? Well, once you got all 10 hours right here, the time before this falls off. So let's make this easy, and we'll just go in here with the eraser. So all of this now falls off. Well, here we'll leave the 2 there. So that falls off. So now, but you still have 6 hours of drive time. That 6 hours stays there. Like I said, it just rolls now, because you don't get a full 14-hour clock. And so now you've done your 2-hour break, you have your 6 hours of drive time here, then you did your 8-hour break, and now after your 8-hour break, well, you want to do more drive time. Well, now you only have 5 more hours that you can drive before you have to do your next 2-hour break, if that makes sense. Okay, and then once you do that 2-hour break, right, then you have 10 hours here between these two, and so all of that falls off. And so now all you have is this 5 hours, and so after that 2-hour break, now you have 6 more hours of drive time on the other side of this 2-hour break. And you can just continue that on and on and on and on until you hit your 70-hour clock. So hopefully that made sense. Let's go into maybe a little bit more complex one now. Alright guys, let's do one a little bit more complicated. Coming in off duty, say we go down, say we do 1 hour in the morning, looking over our truck and our trailer, and then let's say from that 1 hour we go straight to, say we drive for 3 hours. But at 3 hours let's say that we decide to take that 2-hour break. So after that 2-hour break, let's say we're feeling kind of frisky, so we jump out, we do 5 hours of driving. So the biggest thing here is you just always have to keep track of your hours on this 8-2 split. If you're not keeping track of your hours, you can really get yourself messed up. So as we know, the 2-hour does not stop our clock, so we have to count that into our 14-hour day. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hours. So let's say, you know, after that we're just like, oh crap, you know, 11 hours, let's just call it a day. Good 8 hours worth of driving today. So after that we decide, let's take our 8-hour break, and then we get done with our 8-hour break. So how many hours of drive time do we have left on the backside of our 8-hour break? Pretty similar to the last one. All we did was, you know, just split up a few more numbers in there. But so on the backside of the break, you know, how many hours of drive time do we have? Get rid of this, sorry. Well, if you remember from the first one, 8 and 2 is 10, so everything before that falls off. So we can get rid of all this. Makes it easy, right? So we've only used 5 hours of drive time. So we have 6 hours of drive time here that we can work with. Plus we have the 3 hours of on duty that we can work with. So say we come off this 8-hour break and we need another hour in the morning to look over our truck, and then we switch up and we drive for 4 hours. And then we decide to take our next 2-hour break. So that one, we just decided not to maximize our hours. But sometimes you don't need to. So, if you remember right, once you get 10 hours again, everything before that falls off. Whoops, wrong one. So we can get rid of all of that. So now we have only used 4 hours of drive time, 1 hour of on duty. So coming on the back side of this 2-hour break, now we have 7 hours of drive time that we can use over here, and 2 more hours of on duty. So hopefully that helps you guys. So that's the biggest thing, is just having it explained to you guys in a way that's understandable. But we're coming in, we're going down. This time we're spending 2 hours on duty, doing God knows what for 2 hours first thing in the morning. After the 2 hours, we're gonna go up. Let's say we drive, oh heck, let's get aggressive. Let's do 6 hours. Let's do 6 hours. Then we're going to do our 2-hour break. We're going to go down. We're going to do 1 hour on duty, and then we're going to go up, and let's do 3 hours. 3 hours drive time. I think that's 14 right there. And then we'll do that 8-hour break. So that's 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got 3 hours on duty, 9 hours of driving. Yeah, we're still legal. We're still legal there. Just making sure I wasn't doing anything illegal. Don't need to get DOT mad at me. You know we all live by the rules around here. So, sorry guys, it's late at night. I'm ready for bed. But anyways, so everything prior to the 10 hours is what I was trying to say a little bit ago, falls off. So we get rid of all of this nonsense once we do that 8 hours. And so now on the back side of that 8-hour break, and you can do these 8 and 2, you don't have to do the 2-hour first and the 8-hour second. That's just the way I'm doing it for the sake of these videos. Sorry if, I guess I could have switched a couple around and did an 8-hour break first and a 2-hour break second, but anyways, so now coming off of the 8-hour break, you have a 8 hours of drive time that you can use over here and 2 hours of on duty. So, but anyways guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get some sleep. It's currently 9:30 at night, but I just wanted to hurry and throw this video together, that way I can upload it before I start driving in the morning. And I still have to edit it and put this thing together for you guys. But with that being said, I really hope this helps some of you guys out. I know it helped me out tremendously, putting it together to be when I was getting ready to show you guys. So, but if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Share, like, do all that kind of nonsense, and I will see you all on the next video.